All right, and we are live. I'm making this unscheduled live YouTube live stream right here. Want to answer you guys' questions. Thank you very much for joining. I did not announce this. Decided to make a YouTube video right now, or I should say a live stream. Want to answer you guys' questions, kind of talk about the housing market. I have about half an hour to chat about the housing market, answer any of you guys' questions you guys may have, kind of chat about what I'm personally seeing right now in our marketplace. So I actually made two separate videos today. I'll wait for some people to join here. Kevin, how you doing? Nice to see you. Lakeland, Florida. What's the weather like in Florida? Hey, Roy, how you doing? Oh man, Louis, Kentucky. Man, I wish I knew. Juan, good to see you. Thanks for joining. So I often get this question, what are we seeing in our housing market in a particular market? I generally know about the Sacramento housing market in California and the nation as a whole. Obviously, I can't know every single marketplace, so it's really challenging. But since Roy, you answered that, I can actually dive into what Redfin has to say regarding Kentucky. Maybe they have some information that I can share with you. Hey, Lee, how you doing? Good to see you. Ryan, love watching your videos. Lexington, Kentucky. Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate that. Juan, Miami, Florida. Awesome. How much did your area multiply in terms of? Okay. Stop her. Yeah, in Sacramento, we had an increase of our listings by over 50% in 1 month. Absolutely insane. I haven't seen the most recent stats, but for the end of May, we have a big increase of housing supply in the Sacramento area. Wow, we already have 100 people already joined. I didn't even announce I was going to do this. So thanks so much for joining, everyone. I kind of want to answer you guys' question real quick. I have about half an hour until about 3 o'clock today. And I also do want to answer some of your questions, kind of talk about some videos I made today as well. So we'll dive into that as well. Thanks so much for your donation. Do you think Corona boom cities will be the biggest two? Okay, yeah. So yeah. Potentially so, yeah. So you're basically saying the cities in which our housing market absolutely surged because of the coronavirus and work at home orders. Yeah, there was actually an interesting article that Redfin put out where Boise, Idaho, Austin, Texas, Sacramento are seeing large price reductions or or big increase in the share of price reductions. And that's because of a number of different factors, but mainly, in my opinion, a lot of big price appreciation. So in Boise, Idaho, for example, home prices increased almost 70% since May of 2020, which is absolutely insane. So it appears that some people are looking to capitalize on that and sell their houses in order to get the equity of their houses. So potentially, if let's just say those people who have work at home arrangements who move to Boise, if for whatever reason they lose their jobs, and then those companies are looking for people who only want to work in the office, then that could cause some volatility in our housing market in those areas where potentially people who may not have been able to, or areas where people who could have work from home and maybe they're changing that, then we could see some differences there. Hope that answers your question. Melissa, hello from California. Well, hello. I'm in California as well, of course. Hello. Oh, Rancho Cordova. Awesome. Kalik McLean. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Rancho Cordova. It's close to me. Avon Park, Florida. Thanks for joining, Lee. I have not heard of Avon Park, Florida. St. George Housing Market. Man, I have no idea, Ryan. Hola, ¿cómo estás? San Francisco. That's about an hour and a half away from me. Hello, thanks for joining. Hey, appreciate that. Living in Birmingham, Alabama. Awesome. I actually spent a week in Huntsville, Alabama, back in space camp days in 6th grade. But cool, man. Hope you're looks like you might have a YouTube channel. That's awesome. What's your opinion on California lagging in the foreclosure sector due to moratoriums? So I actually want to get to your questions here. One thing I want to point out is that some couple of videos I made today, like I mentioned earlier in this video, gosh, 150 people already on the chat. That's awesome. So 2 videos I made today. Number one is from the National Association of Realtors. They actually posted today. Let me see if I can share my screen. I'm kind of like a noob to this since I haven't been streaming very much at all. Share my screen, share my screen. Okay, hope you guys can see this. I'll look in the chat box in case you guys can't see this. Well, appreciate that. Alexa, that's awesome. Any insights on New Orleans area? Thank you for your time. I will answer your question. Let me go to a Redfin data center and I'll get your question answered. I'm not familiar personally with that area, but I can actually look some stats for you. Thanks so much for the donation. I really appreciate that. So here's some 2 videos I made today, or 2 stories in which I posted a video about today. So here's number one. Pending home sales actually increased in May. They actually increased by 0.7% from May. This is basically from 1 month ago. However, they decreased compared to 1 year ago. They decreased by 14% compared to 1 year ago. So this is a really interesting trend we're seeing right now where let me unshare my screen here. Really interesting trend we're seeing right now because as I reported, I think it was yesterday, the number of new single family houses contract signs for May also increased. So we're seeing contracts signed for newly built houses increasing, and also pending home sales for existing houses increase as well, albeit only at a 0.7% increase, but kind of scratching my head regarding that while we're seeing an increase in pending home sales basically in May. I'll get you posted though. Jonathan, thanks so much for the donation. I appreciate that. So let's first talk about New Orleans area. So if anyone asks me about housing markets in which I'm not familiar, which is the vast majority of the United States, I go on to a Redfin data center. So let me see if there's any information I can pull for you for New Orleans. I don't even know if Redfin has info about it. Oh, they do. Look at that. Boom. All right. So let me see. Oh, and by the way, the second video I made today was regarding Lennar. Lennar released a Q2 earnings report. And so I actually made a separate video regarding that. So I might post both those videos tomorrow, which again is pending home sales for existing houses for May, and also a Q2 earnings report for Lennar, which is one of the biggest home builders in the United States. They had some really interesting things to say about our housing market, especially looking forward, because it's saying that as of May and also in June, they saw a big decrease in buyer traffic, more cancellations from home buyers. And they also identified certain housing markets in the US in which they're seeing big impacts to their business, which is interesting to see. So stay tuned for those 2 videos. So with that said, let's talk about New Orleans. And I'm going to talk about a little bit about some of these questions you guys have here for other housing markets here. New Orleans. All right. So hope you guys can see that. This is for on Redfin Data Center. Let me just copy and paste the address. So in case you guys ever have questions about any housing market in the US, then check out this link right here. Let me see if I can pin it. No, I'm not going to put myself on a timeout. I don't know. I don't know how to pin it. Anyways, I just commented with the link. If you guys want to see housing market trends in any area in the US, then check out that. Or you can just Google Redfin Data Center. They have about 500 plus metros that they track, and you can actually look at all the housing trends in that area. John, thanks very much for the donation. Also, you can check out Missouri market. It seems very hot there recently with houses selling very quickly. Okay, yeah, that'll be number 2. I'll look at Missouri market as well. So let's first talk about what we're seeing in the New Orleans market. So hope you guys can see this. Again, this is on Redfin's housing data. Redfin market data website. So I always get rid of 2020 because it's absolutely insane. So here's new listings. So New Orleans in Louisiana. So new listings have been decreasing really ever since mid-May. So right now for the number of new listings, which is this black line, the blue line here is 2019, orange is 2021, as I always mention. So right now, new listings are down 2.9%. So in this marketplace, which is the metro area of New Orleans, they're not increasing by the new listings are not increasing greatly. Actually, been moving a downward trend and down compared to 2021 and only slightly above 2019's levels. Let's have a look at pending home sales in New Orleans. Take a look at that. So pendings have been decreasing. They're down 13% compared to 1 year ago. Pretty crazy. I bet they have a big share of price drops as well. Yep, look at that. Boom. 8.4% is the share of price reductions right now. And that's by week. So this is a little bit hard to read. I really wish they would change this on their website. So you basically multiply this by 4, and that's basically the share of price reductions by month. So the share right now by week is 8.4%, far higher than 2021. Look at that. At this time in 2021, 4.4%. So they basically double the share of price reductions in one single year. And I'm guessing this is because they're seeing a lot of active listings as well. Yeah, active listings have been increasing greatly. So active listings were down 25% to start year end, which actually is in par or in line with the national average as well for all these 400 plus US metros. And the trend line here has been basically narrowing from 2021. So right now, only down 2.5% for the number of new or the number of houses for sale in this marketplace compared to 2021. However, though, look at 2019, way above there, 4,943 houses for sale in 2019 at this time. Now they only have just under 3,000. So basically in this marketplace, you're seeing new listings hit the market, but not at a crazy high amount. We're still below last year's levels. Pending home sales have been decreasing, even though they're seeing an increase of housing supply, as you can see here for active listings. Let's look at home prices too. Median sold price. Look at that. It's been increasing as well. I would imagine this is probably an all-time record high, 308,000. Yeah, last year it never surpassed 240,000, 241. So the levels right now, oh, actually no, 302. Yeah, probably record high levels I would imagine right now. And I'm guessing active, where's the, where am I looking at? Pending sales, home sold, sale price. Oh, here's what I'm looking at. Not square foot, no. Sorry, just 1 second. Pending sales, new listings, I'm already home sold. Oh, here's what I'm looking for. Listing price. Yeah, listing prices have been increasing greatly as well. So far higher than 2021 as well. So in New Orleans, we're at 321,000. That's a 14% increase compared to 1 year ago. So I hope that answers your question there regarding that marketplace. Let's talk about Missouri as well. So yeah, Alexa, I hope that answers your question about the New Orleans area. Did my best. I'm not familiar with that marketplace at all. So I just go on to Redfin Data Center though. It really kind of gives you some insight regarding what's going on there. Yeah, hope that helps, Alexa. Thanks for your question. All right, John, let's go to you. So you're talking about Missouri marketplace. And again, guys, if you guys are just joining, gosh, we got 240 people on the live stream right now. I'm gonna be doing this for about another half hour. Just kind of want to get your questions answered, kind of talk about the housing market right now. And the place I'm in right now, the AC broke. That's why I'm all sweating right now. All right, so Missouri marketplace. So let's also look at Redfin Data Center as well. So maybe look at, I can't look by state on the data center, but I can look by city. So let's see if I can see if St. Louis is on there. Just a second, let me look in real quick. And boom, there it is. All right, cool. So let me share my screen again, John. Hope you're still with us here. All right, cool. Hope you guys can see this. So John has a question about Missouri market. Seems very hot. Houses still selling very quickly as well. So let's have a look at that. So Missouri, let's look first at new listings. Look at that. New listings have been increasing greatly, really ever since the middle of May. And by the way, Redfin, this is a 4-week rolling average. And so, it's not necessarily what's really going on right now, but at least it's the average over the past 4 weeks. So right now, though, the number of new listings has actually surpassed 2019 as well as 2021 levels. So right now for new listings, they're up 19% compared to 1 year ago. I'm guessing you're going to see a decrease in pendings. Now, pendings have been increasing greatly as well. Look at that. So we saw a big increase of new listings up by 19%. Active listings, which is housing supply, is still down compared to 2021, still down almost 11%. So interesting to see that new listings are increasing, again, up 19%, and that has caused more pending home sales. And so therefore, because, and I'm guessing probably not going to see a whole lot of price reductions, I'm guessing a fair amount, 8% versus, double the share of price reductions. Interesting marketplace there. A lot going on. Hard to kind of gauge what's really going on here, but new listings up 19%. So that actually cause pending home sales to increase. I'm guessing up 63% from a year ago. And houses sold, again, this is a lagging indicator, up 2.8% from 1 year ago. Let's look at the listing prices. Wow, look at that. Listing prices have actually been decreasing greatly there. Oh my gosh, I'm talking about the wrong marketplace. I'm so sorry. I want to talk about St. Louis, Missouri. I don't know, St. Joseph. Jason Fail. I want to talk about St. Louis, Missouri. That's what I was trying to find. Jason Fail. Actually, looks like they don't have it. I don't know, John, do you have a particular city you're looking at? Not seeing the city I was actually looking for. Let me see. John, are you there? Let's see. Yeah, I'm not really seeing. I guess it depends on what area you're looking at, John. So if you want to comment in the chat, I'll get back to you. All right, let's go back to some of these questions here. Fairfield, awesome. That's pretty close to me. Actually, let me stop sharing my screen here. Fairfield, about 45 minutes from me. Thanks for joining. Newington, Connecticut. Do I think rates will drop? Man, that's so hard to tell. I don't know. So hard to know. Rates will drop. If they do drop, I don't think it's going to be a significant amount. I think the rates we have right now are priced in what the Fed plans to do, but obviously inflation's basically inflation's like basically out of control, and the Fed's basically trying to catch that and trying to combat that by raising the federal funds rate. So if they become more hawkish and they decide to raise the federal funds rate more than they already plan to, that's going to cause rates to increase. Hard to say whether or not they're going to be dropping. I don't foresee that happening. Dan, good to see you here. I know I owe you an email. Dan emailed me, I don't know, last week, 2 weeks ago, asking to do a collab. And I have been doing a horrible job in getting back to you, Dan. I apologize. But yeah, let's do a collab soon. Just been really busy. Yeah. All right. Thanks, Lee. Getting to these comments here. Jonathan Alvarado. Hey, Jason. Hey, Jonathan. How you doing? What do you expect home prices to be like in June 2023 in Sacramento, California? Man, it is nearly impossible to make predictions like that. It just depends on so many factors that are beyond our control, right? How many people are going to list their houses for sale, and what are mortgage rates going to be like in the next 6 months? So hard to tell. I mean, right now we're seeing a big increase of active listings, so that should soften our housing market further. Is that trend going to continue? It's anyone's guess. I wish I knew. I would tell you, but the fact remains, no one really knows. You're welcome, Alexa. I hope that helps. I mean, I've never actually looked at the marketplace there in New Orleans, so just kind of did it based on what I was seeing just then. Tarek, is it better to sell my house or rent it out? It's already up 130. Geez, 130%. Wow. Just depends on what you're looking to do, right? So if if you need the equity in your house in order to buy a new place, you may want to sell. I would actually, in trying to figure out whether you want to sell or to rent out, I would actually look at, if you go on a Zillow, you actually can search on houses that are advertised for rent and look for houses that are close to your house. Try and get an estimate about how much you think you could rent your house for, and then compare that to your monthly housing payment to see if you're going to have a positive return on your investment or not. But I'm guessing since you're a homeowner, you probably have a very low mortgage rate and you're already up big time equity wise. So the other question is, do you need the equity in your house? Yes, we all know. What I think about Orlando, Florida. Actually, I spent a couple weeks there back in the day when I was a CPA. Used to work for KPMG, and we had a annual training there in Orlando. But I know nothing about Orlando's market. Let me see if I can find anything on our good friend Redfin's website here. Since you ask, let me share my screen here. I know I don't normally talk about housing markets in which I'm not familiar with whatsoever, but hey, might as well talk about today since we're all here and I can just go on to Redfin here. So quick tip for you guys, if you guys want to know about different housing markets across the United States, go on to Redfin's data centers website. Not a promotion for Redfin whatsoever, but I like their website. I think it's really easy to see their housing stats. And or you can go to Google and just Google the city and state you're interested in knowing about. And then after that, say Association of Realtors. So in Sacramento, if you Google Sacramento Association of Realtors, they have a public website in which you can look at housing market trends over the past, they had it since over 10 years. Anyways, you can see current housing market stats this month compared to last month and also compared to 1 year ago. So that'd be my 2 tips for you guys if you want to know about your current housing market in anywhere USA. So let's talk first about Orlando, Florida, because Maxim MK had this question. So Orlando, Florida, a gain of 6.5% of new listings. So the number of new listings is surpassing the past couple of years. Again, I'm excluding 2020 because it's a completely abnormal year. So new listings are up. Let's have a look at active listings. Active listings have actually surpassed last year's levels, which is different compared to the national level. So right now we're just under, on a national level, on average, we're just under 2021, according to Redfin. But in Orlando, we're actually up 4%. So in this marketplace, active listings are up 4%. New listings are also up 6.5%. So let's have a look at pending home sales. Look at that. Interesting. So new listings are up. Active listings have been increasing, but pending home sales have decreased by 13.5%. That tells me that we're probably going to see some price drops here because buyer demand has been decreasing there. Look at that. Boom. Basically going straight up. So by week, they're at 7.4% compared to 2021. Look at that, 3.9%. So basically right now in Orlando, Florida, they have twice as many price reductions compared to 2021. And also far higher, or not far higher, but higher than 2019 when we had 6% of price drops, now 7.4%. So I hope that answers your question, Maxim. Thanks for your question. Grown Up Gaming, thanks for joining. Awesome. Assuming recession in Q3 2022, that's coming up. What do you think mortgage rates will be like at the end of the year? I'm not too sure about the correlation between recession and mortgage rates. Honestly, I do not know the answer to your question. That's a good question, though. And Fair Oaks, California, anyone's guess what the market's going to be like in 2023. What's your prediction? Q4 to jump in and purchase? I would say just buy when it's right for you. Don't listen to a real estate agent telling you when to buy. I would just say buy when it's right for you. It's really hard to time the market. That's why. Fusion density is a fortune teller. The housing market's going to crash. All right, let me get through some questions here. Thanks, Dan. I know I owe you an email, buddy. Sorry. Illinois or real estate market. Any particular city in Illinois? I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with the state as a whole. That's a bold statement. 8% by year's end. I would foresee we're not going to see big increases in mortgage rates unless the Fed pivots once again and becomes more hawkish. In other words, they decide to raise rates faster or raise rates more than they anticipated or more than they were planning on. You're in contract, Long Island. Should I wait or finish? I'm guessing maybe it's a new build. Yeah, I mean, that's a tough question to answer. Same with this one. Houston housing market. I mean, I'm no real estate market fortune teller. If I was, I would tell you guys. For the fun of it, let's have a look at the Houston market right now, though. Dun, 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 dun. All right, I'm going to be on here for about 15 more minutes, guys. Try to answer all your guys' questions. So right here, just search Houston. Boom. Okay, again, let's look at new listings. New listings basically flat compared to last year. Active listings have surpassed 2021 levels, but only by 3.5%. So a slight increase of active listings and new listings basically on par with last year. So let's have a look at pending home sales. Pendings actually have decreased. So even though we saw a slight increase of supply, a giant decrease of 12% compared to last year. Interesting to see that. Still the levels right now, though, are still above 2019, though. And let's look at price drops. Price drops, look at that, straight up. Wow, 8.3%, very similar to those other markets we're looking at. So 8.3% by week. So multiply that by 4, that's by month. And right now, 8.3%. Compare that to this time in 2021, 4.3%. So again, another marketplace where the share price reductions has basically doubled. Interesting to see that. Month supply, which is actually week supply, basically on par with 2021 as well. So I hope that answers your question, Syed, for what we're seeing right now, at least. And here's that link right there. Just Google Redfin Data Center. Which website should I use for real estate news, predictions, and etc.? Websites, JWalter YouTube channel. No, I'm just kidding. I really, honestly, I really like Redfin's website. They have a really good articles about what we're seeing right now in our housing market. And also you go into the Redfin data center. I also really like Realtor.com. They have a weekly housing market update for the nation as a whole. So I actually really like those two websites. New Orleans is your hometown, right on. Actually, never been there. Yeah, I guess it depends on what area. I know nothing about Connecticut housing market, unfortunately. Question, Roy, Ray, sorry for your question. Thanks for your question. Is it better to focus on price or focus on terms? I'm an investor in Los Angeles and buyer. It depends on if you're a flipper or if you're a buy and hold, you're looking to rent it out. If you're looking to rent out a property, then just look at what your payments can be to versus what your estimated rent is going to be to see what your ROI is going to be. If you're a flipper, obviously you have to look at comps. I think it's really risky in most markets to be a flipper right now. Robert, hey Jason, I'm in LA. I'm assuming Los Angeles. Just wondering how much % of rent will go up in California. Maybe we're talking about predictions. I really have no idea. I'm so sorry. Scott Valley. The only Scott Valley is that I'm aware of is Scotts Valley, which is just really close to Santa Cruz. But I don't know anything about the market there. It's a really small area, so I'm not sure if that you're talking about that area or something different. I don't have any insights regarding this, but if you have a city you want me to look at, I'd be happy to take a look at it. Have about 10 more minutes. I'm going to be hopping off here. Andrew says, housing market in New Mexico. It seems like the area I live in is not slowing down, and there's a lot of new construction homes being built. Interesting. Raya, yeah, thanks for your question. I'm not sure if we have Morristown, New Jersey. I'll look though on Redfin's website here. I only have Morristown, Tennessee, so I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with that area or that housing market, I should say. Same for Connecticut. Lennar Homes in Irvine literally cannot be built units fast enough. Yeah, I actually made a separate video today regarding Lennar's Q2 earnings report. Really interesting to see because I actually looked at the transcript of their conference call with their Q2 earnings call. Really interested to see what they're seeing. Buyer demand decreasing, more cancellations, and they actually identified the markets in which they're most impacted. And one of those was in Sacramento. And they're also starting to do some price reductions as well. Yeah, I see your comment here. Yeah, I have no idea if a forecast, anyone's guess. You're more than welcome, Alexa. I've never been a part of a bridge loan. I remember a lot of talks about them about a year ago because it was such a competitive market. And now we don't see too much of that, I would imagine, because the market's been slowing down a little bit. But I've never been a part of a bridge loan before. Buy now at a relatively low interest rate or buy later at higher interest rate. Yeah, I would just say buy when it's right for you. Have long-term time horizons whenever you buy, whether it's in a month from now or 10 years from now. I would say don't buy unless you have time horizons of 7 to 10 plus years, have an emergency fund, stable job, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, I am not a real estate market fortune teller, unfortunately. Boston. Let's see if I can have give you some insights regarding there. Boston, Massachusetts. All right. This is fun because I'm not familiar. I never look at these marketplaces. So interesting to see what's going on with different areas of the country. So look at that. New listings are down big time, 12% compared to last year, also down big time compared to 2019. So we're not seeing a giant increase of new listings in Boston. Let's look at active listings though. So decrease of new listings and active listings has basically been plateauing over the past few weeks. Still down compared to 1 year ago, down 11%. So interesting marketplace, a lack of new listings and new listings, although they have been narrowing the gap between this year compared to last year. At the start of this year, they were down 31% and now only down 11%, but still below 2021 and far below 2019. Look at that, 12,000 active listings in 2019 at this time. And now we only have 7,500. Let's look at price drops there in Boston. Look at that, basically going straight up, 5.4% below these other marketplaces we're looking at, like Orlando, Florida, for example. But 5.4% compared to last year at 3.5, but still below 2019's levels. Interesting marketplace there. Anyways, hope that answers your question a little bit there. Sorry, I didn't even share my screen. I'm so apologize. Hope you guys got the gist of that. My apologies. I meant to share my screen. Yeah, there's actually been 2 consecutive weeks where, on average, across the United States, where we had increases of people submitting loan applications right now. Yeah, Jonathan. Sorry, thanks for the donation, but I don't normally do housing market forecasts because there's so much that can change. There's so many things that impact our housing market that's outside of our control. Like, there's who knows how many people are going to be listing their house for sale, and where mortgage rates are going to be like in 2023. Therefore, it makes it very, very hard, very challenging to predict what's going to happen in any state, any city, really. Phoenix, actually, really want to look at this. Jason V. So before I forget, let me actually share my screen. JWalter fail. So let's look at where you say you want to look at Phoenix. All right, so let's look at Phoenix. I can spell Phoenix. All right, so Phoenix market. Let's look at new listings again. All right, new listings. Look at that. Basically been plateauing ever since the middle of May. Interesting to see that. So they're still above, though. 2021 and 2019 we're actually up 10.7%. So pretty significant increase compared to the past couple of years, but this trajectory has not been going straight up. So let's have a look at active listings. Look at that. Active listings are actually up compared to last year, up 19%. So far more options if you're a home buyer in Phoenix, Arizona, 19%. But compared to 2019, far less. You're at what, 23,000 in 2019, now only 14,000. So big difference compared to pre-COVID levels. But I'm guessing we're going to see more price reductions there as well. Look at that. Wow. Price reductions ever since March, basically skyrocketing. Look at that, 10.3%. That means on average, over the past 4 weeks, 40% of the houses listed for sale have price reductions. So 10.3% by week. Compare that to last year. Look at that, 3.1%. Now they're at 10.3. So basically 3 times the share of price reductions in Phoenix, Arizona compared to 1 year ago. Interesting to see that. Huh. All right, cool. Hope that answers your question, Jason V. All right, where are we at? Alex Trent, Boise real estate market. Top 2 builders are in the area are offering $10,000 to $25,000 listing price. Interesting. Finally, right? I mean, it's been such a strong seller's market, a strong builder's market, because there's a lack of housing supply and home buyers have been screwed. So yeah, great to see that where we see some price adjustments, which is also in line with the earnings call for Lennar as well. And Boise market as well. Let's have a look at Boise market as well. And then I'm going to be wrapping this video up in a couple of minutes here. So take a look at this. So Boise is an interesting market. Boise, Idaho. Have a look at this. I actually made a separate video regarding this, or included in a video. Look at this. New listings basically been skyrocketing. Look at that. Up 98.6% from 1 year ago. Absolutely insane. But I will say the number of new listings, only 897. So very low number of new listings in the area. It looks like that's very common. So you have, fairly small fluctuations are going to cause giant increases percentage-wise. So it's something to know about, but only less than 1,000 new listings for the 4 weeks ending June 19th. And I'm guessing active listings are up greatly as well. Look at that. Yeah, it's still down, increasing greatly ever since, February. Look at that. They were down 45% compared to 2021. Now they're only down 16%, but still far less than the past couple of years. And I'm guessing they're going to see some big price drops as well. Wow, look at that. Price drops 14.4%. Wow. That's pretty nutty. 14.4% compared to last year, 5.1. So almost 10 times more price reductions in Boise, Idaho right now. Nuts. That's pretty crazy. All right. All right, real quick. Charlotte, North Carolina. Let's have a look and see if they have information on that. Um, they don't have Charlotte, unfortunately. It's not on the Redfin's data website, unfortunately. Congrats on selling your house. All right. Yeah, this is such a tough question. It's really a personal choice. I would just say if you're going to buy, have long-term time horizons of 7 to 10 plus years, have emergency funds, stable job, et cetera, et cetera. Man, should I refinance and buy Escalade? Absolutely. Really good financial decision. Oh, man. No, of course not, right? Chad, how's it going? All right. All right. Man, I wish I can get to all your questions. You guys have a lot of good questions here. Maybe I'll plan on do another live stream sometime this week to answer some of your questions here because there's a lot of questions here about other different markets here. So I'll do my best to do that. Would you grow your beard until rates go to 7%? Oh man, it's already itchy enough. I just get lazy. But I did get a beard trimmer. So would I be able to trim it? I don't know. 7%. I wonder how long it's going to take to get to 7%. That'd be interesting to find out about that. Yeah, you guys want to know about all these different marketplaces. So maybe I plan to do another live stream and answer more of your guys' questions because you guys have a lot of questions about different areas. Obviously, you can't get to everyone's questions here. So I think I can wrap this video up. I had to leave and apologize 3 o'clock. So I will plan to do another live stream at some point this week. Try to get some of your questions answered as well. And and hope you guys got some value out of this video though. So anyways, I guess like the point of the story here regarding if you want to take a look at different marketplaces, go to Redfin Data Center, have a really good website, or Google your city and state and then Association of Realtors. You can get some insight about what's going on with your housing market or any housing market you have some interest in. And I'll also do my best to do another live stream this week. Maybe I'll plan to do a few this week in order to answer you guys' questions. So anyways, hope you guys have an awesome day. Look forward to seeing you in the next video.